This week on Influence, I'm fascinated by the cottage industry of deepfake detectors, protecting the creator class. Hello there, beautiful people. Welcome back to Influence with me, Matt Silverman, here with you for another week covering all things internet creativity, the weirdness of the internet, and the reasons why we love it, and the reasons why maybe we got a little work to do. We got some fixing to do. And I've got a short episode for you today, and a little bit of housekeeping to get out of the way before we get into the top stories. I am an independent contractor. I do a lot of work for different companies and brands and other influencers. And this show is deeply connected to it. It informs all of the work I do. And it is, it is probably the most labor intensive project I'm doing right now. Maybe with one exception, but I'll get into that in a moment. And there's an interesting push pull during my week and during the weeks of each month of like, okay, well, there's only so many hours in a day or a week, especially when the kids are home and around. The kids are off for spring break here in New York. And so if you hear, a crashing sound and a smashing or a thud, or if it sounds on this recording like the roof, the ceiling of my office studio is about to cave in, that is because my son is probably playing basketball with a sword upstairs in his bedroom directly above me. That's because there is no school this week, and he is home, and my daughter is home as well. So they're hanging, and my wife and I are doing our work. And so all that to tell you, we're doing it live. Don't mind the crashing sounds. But I am telling you this because this show is very important to me. It's very valuable to me. I'm very proud of it, and I'm very pleased that many of you listeners continue to get value out of it. Your Patreon support, your messages, your comments, and the ability of this show to reach engaged and fascinated audiences. And that is folks that have been with me from other projects, folks that have been with us since the 2G1P days, and then also new listeners who are joining us because they are fans of the people that I get to interview. It's a diverse and varied community, and I want to be able to serve that listening community to the best of my ability. And there are some weeks and months where there is not quite enough bandwidth or time to make the show what listeners have come to expect and what I am setting out to do here. And so, and the other thing is like, I have long felt that I am not providing, like, I don't have enough bandwidth either to provide like really useful benefits to Patreon supporters. If you support other creators on Patreon, or if you are an observer of that space, you'll note that many of your favorite shows and web series and podcasts and whatever it is that you support will create bonus content or exclusive content that is that patrons want, and I aspire to do that. I wish I could, but for this particular type of show, I don't see a way that is financially or time viable, however we want to say that. So I want to make sure that the show remains valuable and interesting to you, and I want to make sure that I am delivering that value. So I got to figure out where the cutoff will be in terms of subscriptions, but it is mid-April now. I am going to consolidate two of the tiers on the Patreon and add more benefit to all existing tiers, which means everything I'm about to say for you at whatever tier you're subscribed to, unless it's just the free tier, of course, means you will either pay the same or less and get more benefits. So what this means is if you are a $1 patron, if you are an influencer on the $1 tier, you have historically been supporting the show and just saying like, hey, I appreciate the show and I just want the show to keep going and I'm throwing in $1 a month. That I do that a lot personally for a lot of different shows that I support and projects that I support. I don't personally need any tangible benefit. So to those who do that, I salute you. I really appreciate that. You are now getting ad-free episodes. So if you're subscribed in your favorite podcast app, like on Apple or Spotify, you are finding the public feed of the show and you're subscribing and you're getting, ad inserts in there. If you are at the $1 tier and you are interested in getting ad-free episodes, you can go into the Patreon. I will put a link in the show notes and description of this episode that instructs you how to access the Patreon RSS. So the audio files are hosted on Patreon and you can go to Patreon and listen to them there in the app or on the web. Or I think what most people do, what I would do, is get the RSS link from the Patreon feed and then manually put that into your favorite podcast app. And thusly, you can subscribe to the ad-free version exactly the same as you've been subscribing to the original. And you can unsubscribe to the public feed and get your ad-free episodes that way. And that is hopefully useful to you. Less ads in your life, in your ears. Always a good thing. So thank you to all the $1 patrons. Not much changes for you, but you get that added benefit. $5 patrons, which are the producer tier, they were the ones who were getting ad free. You will continue to get ad free. So if you're subscribed on that tier and you're already subscribed to the ad free RSS, nothing changes for you, except you get shout outs on every single episode. You now get your name on the program. So I will be starting that toot sweet, post haste. If you would like to change your name in the Patreon account and put a fun or interesting name or a different name that you'd like to go by as your patron name, please feel free to do so. So you will get the ad-free episodes as you've been getting, plus the added bonus. There are executive producers who have had their names read on this show every single episode. They have historically supported the show at $10 or more. $10 or more, though there was a legacy tier that has been discontinued. You will continue to get those benefits. You will get shouted out on the show. You will get the ad-free episodes, but your contribution will be cut in half. You will go down from $10 to $5 because I'll talk about what's changing on the release cadence as well. You will get everything you've always gotten, but for half the price. But there are really extraordinary people who have supported the show for a long time at this very high tier. And when I'm thanking all the producer patrons, you will get a special nod because I appreciate you. And it's extraordinary for anyone to say, you know what, I could get Netflix or I could support this one show. And I'm very grateful to those people who make that contribution. So you will get an extra special shout, but again, you will be grouped into the producer tier, and all future producers at the $5 level will be thanked on the air. I was making a little graphic for the Patreon to reconfigure the tiers, and it's like, how do you say thanked on the program? We have said on air. If since the radio days, but thanked on episodes, thanked on in feed. None of that sounds good. I don't like the sound of any of it. On air is wrong and sucks because there's no air. There's no airwaves. But but I don't know any other way to say it. So you'll be thanked on the air, which actually means on the tubes. Maybe we say it's on the tubes, because that's how the internet is getting to us these days. Although once it hits your modem, then it hits your wireless router, and then the wireless fidelity, aka Wi-Fi, does transmit my voice as zeros and ones through the air. And you know what? It is a radio signal at the end of the day, if I'm not mistaken. So you know what? You're on the air. Unless you are plugging your computer with a wired connection directly into your modem, as I do with my production PC that I'm speaking into right now, in which case you are not hearing my voice over the air. You are only hearing it on the tubes. We got to solve this. There is no more important and pressing concern in our great nation than this very nomenclature at right now. So stop whatever you're doing, right into the show. Please, let's figure out how to say on the air in the 21st century. All right, get to work. In the meantime, one final thought. Again, you are getting more stuff for the same or less money. I hope that is good and valuable for you. I hope that for anyone who is saving $5 a month, I hope you spend that on some delicious coffee or perhaps a video game. Maybe you grab something on a Steam sale or a cool mobile app that you've been eyeing to kill some time or pass the days. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. So if there is a change, if you are changing tiers due to this change, you will get a note from me. Those have already gone out. And what you'll also need to do is there's no way for me to downgrade you or upgrade you. Like I can't some randomly like charge you extra and push you into a new tier. And similarly, I cannot move you from $10 to $5, which is annoying because I think I should be allowed to let you pay less automatically, but I do understand from like a financial and technical and perhaps legal point of view, like if you have said I authorize a $10 purchase and then I change that without your consent, that's obviously not cool. I get it. So if your tier is changing, you have received a note from me on Patreon. And I will try to reach you by email as well in case that is more efficient. And then I will delete the $10 tier once everyone's up to speed. And then you will need to resubscribe at the $5 tier. And then the other thing I will mention here is that there is ongoing drama with Patreon's Apple app, iOS app in the Apple App Store, which is that if you subscribe to creators using the app, then that purchase is subject to the fees that Apple imposes on in-app. It's like an in-app purchase. And then those fees are either docked from the creator monthly or tacked on to the supporter, depending on the settings of the page. I actually don't know how my page is set in that regard. So regardless, don't resubscribe in the Apple app. Resubscribe in the app. Excuse me. Resubscribe on the web, the www.patreon.com. And then you can, once you have made the purchase there, you can then continue using the App Store app to get updates and communicate and such. So all that housekeeping out of the way, underway and out of the way. Let's talk about Balatro. If you have not played the video game Balatro, I need you to stop what you're doing, turn this off, go get it on your video game console of choice, which includes your telephone, and play it. Because it is an extraordinary game that is rooted in the hands of poker. So the the main thrust of the game is that you are trying to create pairs and full houses and threes of a kind and straights and flushes in order to earn points in order to defeat like bosses, basically. And it is a run-based game. If you are familiar with Slay the Spire, where you are in combat against different entities, and then there are wild modifiers that change the values of your cards and change the reactions of the cards to each other, so that what starts off as like, hey, I got two of a kind, or I got 3 sevens or whatever, those point values can multiply exponentially, and what starts as like a very simplistic game turns into just a crazy mindfuck of a calculus equation that allows you to basically break the game open to create wild builds. And it's, I think, for the uninitiated, it's a confusing looking game, not because it's hard or complicated, but because it looks like you're playing poker or solitaire, but that's actually not what the game is at all. Hard to describe. But I bring it up because it's an excellent game. It's wildly popular. And there have been 2 times on the internet where this game has hit these weird, like, we don't understand what this is. Is this gambling? Do we need to not shut it down, but do we need to block this from children on the internet? So this is a story that came out this week on The Verge. It's written by Jay Peters. On Friday, the YouTube channel Balatro University. So this is a creator channel. This is a third-party channel. It's not affiliated with the creator of this game, who is one guy, by the way, an anonymous developer who is very famous now, but has not shown their face in public. I think they have been referred to as he, him, but because they have never shown themselves, I don't know how to gender this person. We'll talk about that in a minute. So this is a YouTube channel called Balatro University, which I assume creates in-depth guides and resources and analysis of this incredibly complex video game. Balatro University posted a video highlighting how some of their videos had recently been age restricted on YouTube after YouTube tightened its policies about gambling content. But in a post on Monday night, YouTube said the restrictions shouldn't have been applied. I find this fascinating for a couple of reasons, because I think for the uninitiated or unfamiliar, you look at this game and it looks like you would be forgiven if you looked at this and said, oh, is this like an online poker game? Is this like online gambling? And I think, and let me also back up. This game has been out for a year, maybe more, and is wildly popular, well established, well covered by media, well documented in many places. So the fact that YouTube's algorithms or flagging systems or AI analysis of what content is and isn't on YouTube, or user reports that maybe people were incorrectly reporting the game as gambling, and then the AI was like, yes, Balatro is gambling, and this channel creates Balatro videos, therefore kids under 13 shouldn't be allowed to see these videos. I just find that to be a very fascinating misinterpretation that has happened multiple times with this particular game. And we have covered and talked about how ContentID has been very valuable and useful. It has changed the game for creativity on the internet. It allows for remix culture and creativity to be safely pursued, especially on YouTube. And when it fucks up and or is weaponized, it can be incredibly harmful to creators. And and it is just fascinating to me that YouTube, this massive company that has to technologically make sense of billions of hours of video uploaded to the platform every 10 seconds or whatever the fuck it is, has to reckon with, we need to figure out what's what and what's safe and what's appropriate for everyone. And also, when it gets messed up, we humans at the company to be like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait, something went wrong. We got to fix it. We also have to release a public statement that's like, this was this, but that was that. And now we're rectifying that. So in this video, so YouTube posted on Twitter, also known as X. Haven't been there in a while. Quote, videos featuring Balatro gameplay should not be age restricted, unquote, and they are looking into it. This is all according to The Verge. In the video, Balatro University says that 119 out of 606 videos were age restricted, and that of the 30 appeals that were submitted, so when you get a content ID or an age restriction or an advertising like, hey, your video can't be monetized, anything that goes wrong with the video you upload to YouTube, you can manually say, hey, I'm appealing this. Here's why this decision was incorrect. And then you submit it. And then presumably a human being looks at it. But like, I have to assume that like, a robot identified your content incorrectly. You submit an appeal that then another robot is probably like, wait, this person's saying this. Does this meet our criteria? Nope, still no. And then it's rejected. They're saying 30 appeals were submitted and 24 were rejected. So overwhelmingly, most of them were rejected. And then at some point, a human being does look at them and say, oh, wait a minute, we get it. This was not an issue. And so your video is reinstated, or your video is no longer gated or restricted. I have done this numerous times. This comes up because I've put cover songs on YouTube. And so sometimes it's like, this is infringing, but you can keep it on. This is infringing, but it's blocked in these countries. And then I can submit a claim to say like, it's a cover, so we're not infringing. We don't want to monetize it, blah, blah, blah. But this actually also comes up more relevantly with fair use. So I've worked with a lot of folks, and I do this too in some videos, where I am referencing copyrighted work, or we're showing a clip of Star Trek: The Next Generation. And we are doing criticism of a piece of work, and in order to discuss it critically, we have to show a clip or play a sample of the music or whatever. And YouTube's like, hey, you can't put that copyright on there. You can't monetize this video. And then I have to go in and say, hey, this falls under fair use. Your algorithm identified the clip, but we're not just dumping episodes of Star Trek onto YouTube. We are discussing it critically. And then either a robot or a human is like, oh, okay, it's fair use, you're good. And then they give you the thumbs up. I've also had to deal with this for one of my channels, which features my kids, and we make videos for general audiences. They are family-friendly videos that feature children, but they are not for children. They are not made for children. They are not cartoons. They are not toy videos. They are like comedy videos and music song covers and parodies and things of that sort. But because the videos contain kids' faces and children's voices, and perhaps have video titles like, hey, here's this movie review by some dumb kids, like, the algorithm is like, this is for kids, and you can't monetize it, and you can't, your comments are turned off. And I have been super annoyed by that, because on one hand, I very much understand and support the notion that videos made for children can be predatory, and also the people who go into the comments of videos made for children can be predatory for the children who are watching the videos made for children. So that policy actually makes a lot of sense. But as someone who creates for a general audience who is not making content for children, it has been frustrating for my community to be cut off because the algorithm thinks one thing when it's actually the other thing. If you've uploaded anything to YouTube in the last 3 to 5 years, you need to check a box that says, hey, this video is not for kids. That's part of the rules. You also have to check a box that says there's nothing AI generated in this video. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Anyway, that's a little backstory on a lot of the Content ID systems and the ways to appeal it. And I am very fascinated that Balatro, once again, has been caught in this weird trap where platforms and algorithms don't seem to understand that it is not about gambling. This is cited in the Verge article, but it reminded me of this. Two things. I didn't write down the final paragraph here, but the creator of Balatro, who is an anonymous person who goes by Local Funk, shared Balatro University's video that was critical of YouTube, and said online, quote, "Good thing we are protecting children from knowing what a 4 of a kind is and letting them watch Counter-Strike case opening videos instead," criticizing that like lots of video game videos are on YouTube that encourage gambling, and this fun roguelike deck builder about, making numbers go up has been sort of pigeonholed by these algorithms. The addendum to this story is that when Balatro came out, again, game has nothing to do with gambling. It's a single player game that just uses poker hands as its core mechanic. It was rated, I think, by European ratings boards as PEGI 12 or PEGI 13, which is like, hey, this game contains gambling, or hey, this game contains like smoking or coarse language, so it's rated for teens. This would be like T for teen in the US. And it was sort of like, it was blocking the game from certain, not blocking it, but restricting it from certain accounts in certain app stores like Steam and Nintendo Switch, because the ratings board, which again is run by human beings, I presume, not algorithms, misunderstood the game as like a poker gambling game. So like multiple times in this very, very popular and successful game's lifetime, the internet has misunderstood what the game is and has rated it incorrectly, which has, it has not hamstrung the success of the game, but the game has been successful despite all odds. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm very fascinated by this. I thought it was worth mentioning. We'll take a little break to thank our Patreon members who now are at the producer tier. Thank you to everyone who supports the show at any tier. Get those ad-free episodes and get your name read on air, on tubes, right here. Those producers are Sam, Jolene Jula, Robert Tortorelli. Hopefully I'm saying your name, Robert, correctly, your last name, and Evan. And then I also want to thank those legacy members who have been supporting the Patreon at the executive producer tier for eons. They are now brought into the fold with the producers, but they get an extra special shout. They are Bowie Barks. They are Duran, William, and of course Dominic Kerr. Thank you to everyone who supports the show on Patreon. You are offsetting the production costs. You make this show worthwhile for me to keep making, keep doing in the cavalcade of other work and projects and client work that I get to do for a living. And thanks so much for your support. On to our final story today, to our final story this week. And before I reference it specifically, a question for you. Have you been noticing just a run, a glut, an epidemic of AI generated ads on YouTube? And by that, I mean like, you're watching your favorite video, you're watching a podcast, you're watching a vlog, you're watching some cool video game trailers, and an ad will pop up, and it's like, this voice sounds like a robot. And it's definitely not a human voice. So whatever entity made these ads did not hire a voice actor, and they just typed the script into a document and generated some, commercially viable voice. And it sounds very realistic, but then they like their phrasing or their emphasis or their pronunciation of a specific word is like off just enough where you're like, what? What did they say? What is this? And maybe you're watching an ad and you're looking at the screen waiting for that skip button to appear, and you're looking at the person and they're talking into the camera, but their head is not moving. They're weirdly still, like they look real, but they're not emoting in a human way. It's very subtle, and I think to the untrained eye you would never notice it. But I've been noticing more and more and more synthetic voices and also synthetic video. I am seeing an ad for some investment. I don't even know what the ad is for because it's so creepy and weird. It's not for an established brand, but it is a guy who wears glasses and he's talking to camera and he's like, I'm the only person on the internet who publishes all his trades, some investment something, which again, clicking on any investment or financial anything on the fucking internet is red flag number one. Don't ever do it. But he is speaking to camera and he's just, let's say he appears to either be neurodivergent in his mannerisms and or is synthetically generated. And the reason I think it is a robot is because he says a phrase like, and I live stream all of my investments. He live streams them instead of live streams them, which clearly is just a robot reading text and mispronouncing it. And then you are the creator of this ad. So you have created this incredibly sophisticated AI generated person who looks real and speaks realistically. And then when you finish generating that ad and putting this video clip together to submit to YouTube, you, the creator of this ad, did not understand that nobody says live streaming. That to me indicates that it was created by a non-English speaker. So you've got a weird robot man giving financial advice on the internet from some foreign, entity who created the ad. All sorts of red flags. And I keep, every time I see it, I'm like, I should report this ad. I should report this to YouTube. Anyway, I have been noticing this more and more, and it really, it unnerves me because I'm confident most regular people are not perceiving this, and hopefully they are not being misled. But here's where things get even more interesting. I saw this piece by Sid Cohen at the Published Press. Published Press is a great site and a great newsletter. They cover creator culture in great depth, and I am a big fan of theirs. They had this story about wellness creator Rich Roll. I was not familiar with Rich Roll, but I've never seen any of his content, but I'm aware of him because I was working with a client on in the health and nutrition space, and I think their hosts were on his show or he was a guest on their show. So Rich Roll apparently is huge. He's very popular. He's like a vegan nutrition guy, but he's also like an ultra marathon guy. So he's got a YouTube channel, podcast, whatever. He posted on Threads that his face appeared in a 2-minute ad. I assume this was on YouTube, but they don't actually say. So let's presume it was YouTube. For Skaind, Skaind, which is a Korean skincare brand. However, he did not actually appear in the ad. Someone created an AI replica of Rich Roll. So I presume this was an AI-generated deepfake or synthetic video generation of his face and him talking, and of course, his voice, synthetically generated, endorsing a product, endorsing a skincare product that he had no affiliation with. Skaind used Roll's likeness along with that of lifestyle creator Ariel Laurie. I don't know who she is either. In an unauthorized AI-generated promotion for its products, in which Roll and Laurie, who have never met, have a conversation about skincare habits. Okay, so it's two very popular like lifestyle creators who do not know each other, synthetically generated into a conversation about a product they do not endorse. And then this ad rolling out to untold tens of thousands, if not millions of people. Roll attempted to report Skaind only to find out that the brand blocked him from sharing the video, commenting, or sending Skaind a DM. So basically, I guess he tried to interact with the channel that had produced the video, and he was blocked from doing that, which is crazy. It's this article saying, having dealt with unauthorized deepfake ads in the past, so this is not Roll's first time addressing his own likeness. He at first he dismissed it as like, well, this is the cost of being a public figure. What are you going to do? Which, on one hand, I get. On the other hand, that sucks. But after, so then this other creator, Ariel Lore, Lorre, I'm not familiar how you say her name. She posted on TikTok because she saw the video. And that's when Roll and Laurie connected. Roll says, I felt a responsibility at least to speak out and to do something about it. Laurie is currently, so they connect. So they had never met, but then they connected to try to fight back against these synthetic ads. And Laurie is now working with a digital protection agency called Loti. Lots of phrases and names and terms here. Loti AI. And she has hired a lawyer to report, to escalate the report to Meta. Oh, so maybe these ads were on Instagram or Facebook or et cetera, et cetera. In the past, I should have looked this up. I'm blanking on the name of the company, but we have interviewed another company that found a niche. There's this cottage industry of when people upload your content. If you make a video on YouTube and then people steal it and download it and then re-upload it to another YouTube channel or another platform, there are existing mechanisms inside of these platforms, as we just discussed with the previous story, to identify that content and either to report it or block it or take it down, or to attribute the revenue from that other channel to you. And these systems were created to protect big businesses like record labels and movie studios. But now, in the last 5 to 10 years, they have also been utilized for creators as well. So, and now there are like independent agencies whose entire business is to identify, like, sniff out the entire internet somehow through web crawlers or AI or whatever, keywords or whatever, find pirated content, alert you to it all across all platforms in a dashboard, and then automatically issue takedown notices or reports to the platforms, or identify it and help you monetize it so that if your thing gets re-uploaded in Arabic and it gets 10 million views, it's very hard to find that or identify it, but these platforms now can do it across languages and territories. And so, gosh, I forget the name of the company we interviewed a while ago, but this has now become a whole industry. And then now multiply that by likeness rights, where pretty much anyone with a Chat GPT subscription or a DALL-E image generation system can ingest hours and hours and hours of video footage of a popular YouTuber or TikToker or podcaster, and then make them do or say whatever they want, and then put that on other channels or turn them into ads, as we saw in this situation. And that is a leveling up of piracy, IP likeness invasion, piracy. What are we even calling this? That is a leveling up that like public figures now have to deal with and employ agencies. So I looked into this thing, LOTI, LOTI, LOTAI.com. An image and identity control service for public figures. This is from their website. Building on this advanced AI technology, I think they were developing other image generation products, and they pivoted or expanded our focus in 2024 to help celebrities and public figures take control of their online presence. These individuals, often targeted by unauthorized content, now have a powerful solution to protect and manage their digital identity. Loti AI operates a massive network of tens of thousands of servers that collectively scan everything uploaded to the internet each day. That's a bold claim. I wish that to be true. I doubt it. Our system identifies our members' content, determines what doesn't belong, and deploy takedowns to remove it. Basically, it's like a third-party content ID for your likeness, for your face and voice. Again, it's not just identifying, hey, you stole my video. It's like, hey, it's Wednesday. Who stole my face today? And who do we need to go after? I got to like pay an agency now to deal with that. Fascinating, inevitable, complicated. Best of luck to all involved. New goals, okay? Can my face ever become known enough or visible enough on the internet so that some sketchy person generates an AI version of me? I've synthesized my own voice. We've done it on this show. But yeah. Will anyone ever make an AI replica of me to sell skincare products or, shitty mobile games? Let's make that happen, okay? Let's share the show. Tell your friends. Let's raise the profile so that people can steal my face. Thank you for listening. I hope that the new Patreon structure is both useful to you and valuable, and maybe get some new folks interested in supporting the show, given the new perk structure. I need to. I want to charge people less and give people more, and I also hope that frees up my schedule to say, you know what, maybe I am not able to do 4 episodes a month. Maybe I'm doing 2, maybe I'm doing 3, because I really, really want to book extraordinary people, and those people just take a lot of time to reach out to and collaborate on schedules. So I want to make the show the best it can be, and I want every episode to be worth your time and effort. And so I think this restructure will get us closer to that. Let me know what you think. Look out in your inboxes for changes on the Patreon side. And as always, I need to remind you to be kind. Please rewind your podcast after listening, and I will talk at you in 1 to 2 weeks' time.